The sexual abuse of our children is an important and sensitive issue that has too often been swept under the rug by many of our institutions. When it comes to child abuse, you do not have the right to remain silent. Over the past few weeks, our society has been rocked by the conviction of a Pentecostal pastor for having sex with a 13-year-old. This follows closely on the heels of 3 Moravian pastors being charged for offenses related to the sexual abuse of minors. This is an emergency, Jamaica. Let's probe this issue.
So we have 3 main government institutions that deal with child protection. You have who I like to call the state parent, which is the Child Development Agency, who really gives a child a home to live in if they have ineffective parents or really nowhere to live. Then you have the Office of the Children's Registry, which, as the name suggests, really is a registry. So they get the calls, they get the emails in relation to anything that's happening with a child or suspected to be happening, and then they pass it on for an investigation to take place. Then you have my outfit, as you may call it, the Office of the Children's Advocate. We happily do not fall within a ministry. We're an independent commission of parliament that really goes across sectors to deal with anything at all that could affect a child. So we really are more rights-based, and so we provide legal advocacy and representation for children. Section 6 of the Child Care and Protection Act places an obligation on everyone, whether you are a fisherman or you work in the market or the supermarket or you're a taxi man. Everybody has a mandatory obligation in Jamaica to make a report if it is that they know of or even suspect that a child is in distress.
The responsibility of the organization to ensure that it investigates reports and puts in place credible mechanisms for how those investigations are conducted, I think is a major next step that the church must take, and it's going to be part of the recovery of trust going forward. But that recovery will only come when the church demonstrates that over time it has been faithful to those procedures and those principles. I think the church has a foremost role. Jesus said, "Suffer the little children to come unto me." There is a fundamental theological disposition that the church is asked to take, and it is to be the protector of the weak and the vulnerable. And so children, more than the institution, or children should have a greater level of importance than the institution. Children should be given greater level of support than the pastor or any other church worker. So the church has a duty to ensure that once a child is at risk, it is rigorous, it is forthcoming, it is tireless in ensuring that support is given to the child and her family.
Say Their Names is a campaign that started online, that has grown into a movement whereby we empower women and children to no longer be silent about the sexual violence that they have faced. The Tambourine Army is a group of activists and advocates who are in support of Say Their Names movement, and we're growing into a much larger organization. We're disrupting the status quo. We're going to shake things up. We no longer are going to sit by and watch institutions fail our women, our girls, and our boys. Our message is to speak up, and you will be here to provide support.
I don't know that we should be in a hurry to move past this. I think we need to spend some time and try to understand what has happened and to be transparent in assessing what has been done. And only after we have come to a full sense of really what has taken place can we begin to move on. And I don't think that the church should concern itself with its reputation and therefore seek to do things to protect its reputation, what the church should be concerned with is just doing the right thing and let the chips fall where they may when it does the right thing.
The sexual abuse of our children is an important and sensitive issue that has too often been swept under the rug by many of our institutions. Things are changing for the better. Advocacy groups are emerging. The institutions charged with the protection of our children are becoming more activist. It's time for the entire society to support these improvements. Institutional loyalty, cultural acceptance, or even financial deprivation are no longer excuses to turn a blind eye to the abuse of our children. Let's take a stand. Let's speak out on this important issue.